right. So we know you've had this model for some time. Did you ever think it would ever get this star treatment like it has here on Trekyards? I mean, this thing is amazing. How excited are you to have this, like actual specs and a story and such?
Well, I can't tell you how excited I am. I really didn't think it was going to go anywhere other than on display on a shelf in my home. So I am tickled Romulan green uh, over that. So yeah, I really appreciate it, and the efforts that you guys have made really make it all worthwhile.
Appreciate it. But I've got to ask, and Stuart wrote this in the script. Just want to point this out. How was it working with Stuart and I during this process? I mean, was it enjoyable? Was it really really enjoyable? And would you recommend that other people come to us with a unique ship, and maybe have the Trekyards team build the ship in side cannon? I mean, we're here for that sort of thing. So what would you say, Michael?
Well, once you get over the egos, everything was fantastic. I
Harsh.
really didn't have any sort of trouble at
Oh
all. I
God.
mean, you guys were really flexible. Yeah, you asked for my input consistently, which I loved, and a lot of the canon I really think is spot on.
But I think
Really.
it's worth pointing out the fantastic 3D model we had created. I mean, come on, guys. Yeah, it was created by Mario Marino. Yeah, he's a 3D artist that will actually be joining us in a future episode because he has his own ship design, and he'll be joining Trekker's original. We approached him, and he was really pleased to work with us. He took photos that we'd taken of the actual model, and then made a 3D model of it. And I think we're all proud of it. It's such a cool looking thing. And for me, probably for you guys as well, it's very surreal to see something that was actually just a physical model, and now it's flying through space. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was great. Mario sent us this quote. Working on this model with only photographs of the physical model for reference was very challenging, but also a lot of fun. The distortion caused by perspective is something you have to take into consideration. I have a lot of appreciation for all the work that went into the original Terrorbird and look forward to similar projects in the future. So, Michael, what was it like to see your Terrorbird in space, as it were, for the first time?
I can't put it into words, to be frank. It was just amazing. It's something that I've always imagined, and now it's come to fruition. Thanks to you guys. I mean, just amazing. I really love it.
All right, guys, so now it's the discussion part of the show. So, we're going to talk about first about what we love about the ship.
As always.
I think that the profile of this thing is amazing. It looks very menacing and warlike. Also, the fact that it's from an era that we didn't see any Romulan designs and wouldn't until TNG, when the Federation said they hadn't seen anything from the Romulans for about 80 years. Except, of course, the bird of prey from Star Trek III, which was originally a Romulan design that Krug and his men had stolen. And then, after they changed the script, they decided to make it a Klingon ship, and they didn't even change the looks of it at all, which makes me maintain that the bird of prey is 100% a Romulan design that the
I'm with
Klingons
you.
acquired during their truce and technological exchange with the Romulans.
I'm with you there, Captain.
Thank you, sir. I know Samuel disagrees with this,
Yes, I
obviously,
do. Come on.
but even he can't be perfect, even though he is British. So the fact that you made something from this era was just great to see. And all the callbacks and visual cues that tie it together with the bird of prey, as well as future Romulan ships, are just fantastic. Plus, when Samuel and I were fleshing this ship out, the dimensions you gave it and just everything about it really was just perfect. The size, the dimensions, the look, the feel, the color. You just hit the nail on the head. Bravo. Good job, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've had the pleasure to work with this ship in 3D, building its flybys and get a greater sense of this ship, and it really is a fantastic design. Fits into here perfectly, I think. Shows an evolution to TNG. And as Stuart said, the scale. I mean, once we finalised exactly what scale was, everything was just right. The turrets, the plasma torpedo tubes, it all just worked. A tricky thing to get right, so well done, Michael.
Yeah, thank you.
And yeah, I love the feel of this ship. It's aggressive yet elegant. And I know I'm biased, but I love all the information we worked out. It really fits into canon, and it would have been great to see this in the show. It really would have. I think my favourite thing would just have to be the overall design. I know it's a cop out, but I just think it all works so well together. So
So, Michael, if you had to pick one thing specifically that you love about this ship,
one thing.
what would it be?
Well, I'd have to say where it started, which was the head. It really was not intended to become a ship. I was in a woodworking class and had a block of pine that I was carving away at, and I really feel like it really gives it a lot of personality, and the integration of the torpedo bays, I think, is really unique because we've only seen them integrated in the past with Klingon ships, and they only ever have one bay. And this particular design has two flanking bays on the side of it. So I'd have to say that that element of the design is my favorite.
Cool. Okay, so now it comes to the part of the show where we say what we don't like about it.
Sorry, Michael.
But to be honest, there isn't too much. If I had to say something that I didn't really like too much, it would be the dorsal view from the top, where the wings attach. It just seems it wasn't bulked up enough. It looks kind of weak in that spot.
Don't be 8-brain, Stuart. Don't be 8-brain.
I know. Thank you, Doug Drexler. However, this is made up for by the profile view that I discussed a minute ago. Also, I feel the shuttle bay might need a little work, as it's just merely an Excelsior class shuttle bay door. If you could redesign that and make the shuttle bay a bit bulkier and have a new redesigned door, that would look awesome, I think. But aside from that, I think it's an absolutely fantastic ship, and I think you should be designing starships for a living.
Thank you.
Yeah, and as for me, what can I say about don't like? You have to pick something, don't you? There's always a problem with these things. If it had to be something, probably the large impulse engine at the back. It'd be cool to see it a bit more advanced, maybe lit up rather than just grills, but that's really it. There's anything I don't really like. Sorry, it's just so cool to see it fly in my renders. I'm stopping at that, Stuart.
So now you make me sound like the asshole by saying things that I didn't like, and you're like, oh, nothing that I didn't like. All right, well, Michael, if there's anything you could change about it, or change if you did a refit of it, let's say, what would it be?
Well, specifically the things that you guys mentioned, I don't think I would change the placement of the wings that support the nacelles. I purposely wanted it to appear that they were at the back portion of the ship, not in the middle of it. There is a cantilever design. The tail actually balances out the two wings. So that's not something I would change. And the shuttle bay, that, again, it is a kit bash. Like I said, it's a very organic process that I went through. I thought I needed something more rounded at the bottom, and I just thought that fit really well into the sort of that feel. Again, it is at the bottom. It is also reversed in the way that it would be for the Excelsior. So the rounded dome-like shape is at the bottom, where on the Excelsior it would be at the top. Mm-hmm. And as far as the impulse engine, a lot of what I was thinking of was them having physical armor as part of their defense. Mm-hmm. So that large, bulky grill is also designed to help resist any sort of strikes that might hit it on its impulse.
Great answer. I like that.
Yeah. So I guess it's that time of the show for verses, everybody. Uh-huh. Who wants to do a verses? I do.
I do. Okay.
Well, I think it should be both of us, me and Stuart, versus Michael and his ship, because it's such a cool, powerful ship. I think we'll need to combine all of our might to go against him. So, Stuart, why don't you take a bird of prey, a Burrell class from roughly the same era, and I'll take a more advanced Vorcha. I have a Vorcha, so this one.
Oh, I have a bird of prey. How convenient.
Yeah. So slightly more powerful attack cruiser on my end, and then a slightly weaker sort of stealth scout on your end, and see what happens. Michael,
let's do it.
What are we doing then? What's happening, Michael?
Well, I think I would start with the Vorcha class, and yeah. So I would be probably hitting that with, I'd probably flank it to one side, not knowing, like, I'm not sure where the bird of prey is.
Oh, we're flying side by side right now, and you're coming out behind us. Let's say it's decloaking, because we're just doing our patrol. We're just cruising along.
Okay, so what I would probably do is come in from underneath and use the side cannons to target the Vorcha.
Oi.
And then speed past them, and as I'm targeting the Vorcha, build up an aft torpedo burst to hit the bird of prey, would be where I would start off.
Well, I got to say, as soon as we see you decloak, we got a couple seconds. You're firing at the Vorcha with the disruptors first, so my little bird of prey is going to start cloaking and bank to the left, veer off. Cloaked, gone, come up behind you. Of course, you've got your plasmas charging, which you just said.
Well, I've got to ask, Michael, so where did you hit the Vorcha? Because, I mean, what sort of damage are we looking at? I mean, these are some reasonably high-powered disruptors, but where did you hit?
My target probably would have been the right side warp nacelle.
Okay. So I'm kind of damaged, but weapons will probably still be quite functional. So I'm probably retargeting you as you're banking towards the bird of prey. So I'm probably going to start firing disruptors if I can, and I'm sure you're going to start dodging them. But yeah, Stuart, what are you going to do?
Well, I've cloaked. Like I said, I'm coming up behind him. I've noticed he's building up a plasma torpedo charge in the back there, and that's not good. So I'm going to swoop down underneath him and cloak, do a quick turn, and end up decloaking face to face with him.
Oh. And I'm still firing disruptors trying to hit you, so I'm slowly coming after you at sort of half impulse. So what are you going to do, Michael?
We assume you've like stopped to like charge up your shields, and and I'm face to face with you. He's firing at you. What's next?
Well, what we would probably do is go with 2 torpedoes from the front and the front-mounted disruptor cannons directly at the bird of prey.
Done. It's a small one after all. It's a Burrell.
Could you not dodge a little bit, Stuart, and at least survive it?
I would be doing some evasive maneuvers there. I'm sure my shields are fairly weak at this point. Probably got some internal damage, but I would definitely do some evasive maneuvering and kind of swoop underneath you. Try to cloak again. I assume my cloak is still working.
Did you manage to get any torpedoes off to damage Michael's ship?
Oh yeah, I would think I would fire at least one when I decloaked. So I mean, you got like 10% damage to your front shield.
Well, remember, it's not
actually shields were nothing we really even talked much about, really, were we?
Well, again, it's about power management. So do you want shields or do you want weapons? That's sort of the question, isn't it?
Well, it would probably be about weapons to attempt to destroy the smaller ship first, and then focus on shields against the larger ship.
I can imagine that torpedo do some actually kind of serious damage and start causing radiation leaks. So I'm now remember I'm quite a powerful, beefy ship. So I'm coming in, I'm firing all weapons, I'm hitting your back shields. So now you've been attacked from both sides. I think your shields are starting to buckle a bit, but you've still got some powerful weapons. What do you think you're going to do?
Well, what we will probably try to do is get some evasive action going on there and see if there's any way to reactivate the cloak.
Okay, so we're assuming the cloak's not damaged and you start to decloak, or start to recloak, sorry.
I'm going to go beam Stuart's crew aboard, apart from the captain, because he obviously wants to go down the ship, so I'm there safe. Stuart's probably going to die, but
Why would you dishonor them by giving them life after?
Because you've killed loads of my people already. I need more crew members.
That's a good point. That's kind of rude, Samuel. Let my crew die with some honor and some dignity.
Fine, I'll blow up your... No,
sure.
Stovacor!
Oh,
I would assume that my ship is like damaged and probably, even though it's cloaked, it's still emitting large amounts of radiation because of the damage. So I decide to decloak again and get a few shots off with my wing-mounted guns. As you're cloaking, kind of give you a little kick in the ass. And I don't know what to do from there. So Samuel, what are you going to be doing at this point?
Well, I'm just scanning around trying to find him. He's not damaged enough to create any sort of major leak, and you've already compromised my power systems with a pretty devastating shot to my warp engine. So I'm just sort of keep weapons on standby, really. I don't know. Are you retreating yet, or are you going to try one last attack, Michael?
Well, I'm trying to get a read on your systems to see where what's been affected by the strike to the nacelle. I would probably try to come in at some obscure angle, maybe upside down.
Your pattern indicates three-dimensional thinking.
Okay.
And maybe see where I could target any sort of command functions, whether it be the bridge or impulse drive.
So would you shoot at my ship as well again?
I'm thinking it's pretty much going to be out of commission.
It's not
going to focus too much on it at this point.
Not yet. I still got a little bit fight. I just fired at you as you were cloaking. I mean, come on, you got to
I know, but I've got some big beefy guns. I'm obviously the bigger threat. So if you do successfully strike maybe this portion, I think I'm probably looking at starting to have shield failure, especially if you have to get a plasma torpedo off. I think maybe at that point I'm going to start firing. I'm going to devote all power to weapons and just shoot everything I have. But that's going to start destabilizing my power grid, and the damage is going to be a bit too much. Maybe they're going to fry out. I think I've probably damaged you quite a lot at this point. Like, you probably lost your disruptors and some of your turrets. But I think I'm probably now going to start not thinking about retreating, but maybe diverting power to shields and seeing if I can escape, because we're both at a point where if we really want to destroy the other, I think we can, but maybe at the risk of each of ourselves. If that makes sense.
You got to remember too. We mentioned that his is a strike attack. Like it's not meant to be an actual battle. It's
And this
meant
is
to
a battle
strike.
cruiser, so this is a
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think my ship right now, what I'm going to do, the honorable thing, is warp right through you. Boom. And we're going to Stovacor. I don't know where you're going, man.
Well, we're gonna
That's
drink
got to
that,
that's got to pulverize your shield
Blood
system.
wine.
Okay. Well, hopefully there's enough space between me and the larger ship. I'll try to time it to move out of the way at the last second, allowing your bird of
Hey,
prey to slam
you're a
into your
huge ship. He's a
bow
very
there.
small ship. I think he's got you at that. You're a very large ship, you know. He's probably
Well, it's
slammed
all
into
about timing, right?
you.
Are you warp speed fast? You got that kind of reflexes?
Oh.
Well, you're veering towards me at warp speed. I
Well,
got to see something.
I'm not veering toward. I came up behind you, decloaked, fired as you were cloaking,
and then
and
yeah.
when you decloak, and just boom right into you.
Well, that's when I took an obscure angle and moved out of the path of your
half
ship.
of it's still going to hit you. I guarantee the wing would still hit your aft. I think your impulse engines are probably, or your aft warp's probably now going to be hit quite dramatically and ripped right through that hull armor.
Anyway, I'm in Stovacor. I don't give a shit what happens from here.
That's true. So both quite damaged, Michael. Do you want to keep going toe to toe with the battle cruiser or retreat as you are a strike cruiser?
Well, I think probably some of our nifty little shuttles
Ooh.
could start being deployed,
That's true.
and we could start setting up some decoys.
Okay.
We'll see how your ship reacts to those.
I can't. I'm just gonna keep firing weapons. I can't do much.
But you don't have a target.
Well, I have little targets.
Yeah, you should like launch a decoy shuttle and then cloak and get out with your ship intact. I think because it is a prototype. So have him, look for you.
Unless he wants to risk it all and come behind me and just fire everything while still getting hit by my aft torpedoes, probably destroying the back of my ship and causing a warp core explosion. But I think you'd probably lose the front of your ship and that darn battle bridge. But you probably win. So are you willing to risk it?
I could always separate.
Oh. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know how to call this one. We should probably wrap it up, though.
Yeah.
I think it was a fairly effective strike on your behalf, Michael.
I think no one got out of that alive, maybe apart from that one shuttle.
Hey, there's that mystery shuttle again, right?
Hey, cool.
Okay.
Wow, guy, that was a really fun episode. Not only the filming, but just everything about it was awesome. The discussion Samuel and I had about this ship and how things just fell into place was just great. We look forward to doing more Trekyards originals with you guys and all of your unique and great designs. As you can see, we really put our heart and soul into it and really get into the meat of the details. Yeah. So this ship, in my mind, now is a real ship in canon. And the way we approached it made it seem that it makes sense that it wasn't mentioned or seen in canon. So that's what we're going to endeavor to do with these originals, guys. I'd like to thank you, Michael, for designing this ship and allowing us to add our Trekyards flair to it. And of course, for joining us today.
Well, I'm really glad I could be here, and I have to agree. I think it feels like a part of Star Trek canon as a result of this. So, kudos to you guys. Thanks so much.
Yeah, we couldn't ask for more. So, would you recommend other people donate to our Trekyards page and get this star treatment? Was it a fun experience for you?
100%. I would totally give the thumbs up to anybody else who's interested, who've taken the time maybe to think of their own ideas for ship, whether it be, Federation, Klingon, whatever it is. I think they should really look you guys up and, of course, watch Trekyards.
Thank you.
Cool. So there you have it. That's the end of the Terrorbird. And we do have some more originals, Trekyards originals, coming down the line. Since several of the people who actually donated towards our Indiegogo at the 50 or 80, pick your own ship perk, they pick their own original design, and that is fantastic. We can't wait to look at it. So if you do want to see your own ship beyond Trekyards, do contact us at trekyards@hotmail.com or check out the Trekyards original page on the trekyards.com website and click the donate button and check out the information to see what we can do. We'd love to discuss your ship with us and work out all the cool stuff. But I'm sure, as you can imagine, this does take a lot of time, especially with 3D modeling and these things. It's awesome, but we put a lot of work into it. So if you want to join, there is some level of donation just to help us out, but that gives us the freedom to keep working on it and really do the ship justice, put the same passion that you put into it. So yeah, like I said, email us at trekyards@hotmail.com and hopefully we can work something out.
Yeah, I'm so excited to do more of these. So,
Yeah.
and anyways, guys, that's it for another Trekyards episode. As always, visit the Facebook group as well as trekyards.com to check out other great Trekyards content, or simply go to YouTube and search Trekyards. We have so much stuff to tide you over until we see you again next week.
Yeah.
Till then, this is Captain Foley
Commander Cockings.
and our very special guest designer
Me, Michael Freitas.
saying, let's see what's out there, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you later.